I'm trying to photograph as many sports as possible in hopes to photograph the 2028 Summer Olympics down in LA. Today's going to be day 10 and we're going to be photographing squash. And if you've been watching this series, you know that I've been very transparent with you guys in my ups and my downs and learning how to photograph a lot of these sports for the very first time. And to continue with that, I didn't know squash was a thing. So the very first thing that I did when I got there is I went up to the coach and I had him explain the entire sport to me because I wanted to make sure I understood what was going on. And he told me like, this is gonna be the best time to take this picture. This is gonna be the best time to take that photo. And that was very helpful. And if you are not familiar with the sport, go ask people who are very familiar with the sport. That's gonna be a huge tip that I'm gonna give you. And it's okay to ask questions. You're not expected to know every single thing about every single sport known to man. To be honest, I didn't know squash existed outside of being a vegetable. And apparently I didn't even know that because apparently squash isn't a vegetable, it's a fruit. I clearly shows you how much I know about squash. Okay, back to the stuff that you guys actually care about. How was photographing squash? And to be honest, it was fine. It was not super hard to like photograph. I think the two biggest hindrances that I had was photographing between class. And there's a lot of smudges and that. It's a little tricky there. I think if I got one of these like little suction cup things, that'll help like eliminate a lot of the glares, which would be really nice. And then the other thing is that most of the time, like 98% of the time, their backs are to you. So it's really impossible to get a shot of their face as I'm photographing. And I think that is why you'll see some of these professional like stadiums for squash, where it's like just a giant glass box, but we didn't have that. So it was a lot of like the second that they would turn around, I would try to make sure I got a picture because I like photographing people's faces. And I felt like the sport was really hard to do so. When I was photographing squash, I felt like there's a lot of pressure in trying to make sure that these photos look good, because if you did not know, squash will actually be joining the Olympics in 2028. And if somehow I was able to manage this dream that I have, you never know, I could be photographing squash in the Olympics. And I feel like there's not a lot of squash photographers out there. And I wanted to make sure I got some good photos. So here are a couple of my favorites. Let me know what you think and let me know what sport you guys want to see in the future. Bye.